Why is trust so hard to measure? Trust is kind of a vague, abstract, intangible construct that's hard to measure as a result. There is a great book that I would recommend by Douglas Hubbard called How to Measure Anything. And that's a book that mostly talks about businesses and how you measure all kinds of intangibles in business that typically you think can't be measured. So that's a great book. But the problem with measuring trust is really that you can't just ask what is the level of trust. Trust is relative. The first several laws of trust indicate that trust is continuous. There's a certain level of trust that you might need different levels in different contexts. Trust is contextual. That's the second law. In different contexts, you need trust even in different things. And then trust is personal. One person will trust you, another person will not. And it could even be for you doing exactly the same things. So how do you measure it? I think you also need to ask yourself for different things, what is the level of trust that's required? For some things, you don't need a lot of trust. For other things, you need more. And remember that it is personal in that if you think about it, what is trust? Why do you need trust? It all starts with risk. You're facing a certain risk. The risk is objective. Your fear of that risk is subjective. So you and I may face exactly the same objective risk, but one of us is going to be more afraid or less afraid of that same risk. Trust is a function of, or trust is that thing that takes us, if we have more trust in the level of fear that we're experiencing, we feel safe. If we have less trust, we feel that we're in danger. So even that's a personal thing. So you can't just say we have a certain level of trust on a scale of 7, it's 5 out of 7, and that's good enough. It depends on whether it's good enough for the people who are facing a situation where they need to trust other people. The last thing before I start going into how do you exactly measure it is that trust is really it's something that's related to the dependency. If you don't depend on me and what I do in my job, then you don't need a high level of trust in me. The problem always starts when you depend on me, but you don't trust me. If you don't depend on me and you don't trust me, that's fine. Nobody's losing anything. If you depend on me and you trust me, that's great. The problem is when you depend on me and you don't trust me, and those are the things that you want to identify. And this is why my trust tracker tool, which I'll briefly talk about, has this matrix of how different people trust different other people on the team. But it's linked, the scale of whether this is an issue or not, or a critical issue or not, depends on dependencies between two different people.
This was only a part of an episode of The Trust Show. You can watch the full episode on my YouTube channel, The Trust Show, or listen to it on The Trust Show podcast on Apple or anywhere else you listen to your favorite podcasts. Thank you for watching.